Welcome to ENH114 African American Literature. This orientation video will cover navigating Canvas, how to be successful in the Canvas learning management system. So, if this is your first time, then be aware that there is help available for you in the upper right corner of your Canvas class. One of the key things that I want to point out with you is that when you're taking a class, especially an online class, using Canvas, you should use the navigation menu on the left and also follow the prompts on the main page. The one mistake that most students make is that they all want to go directly to the assignments, and that is going to be a no-no for you, because in many cases, as you'll see in this class, there are lots of things that lead up to you actually being able to do an assignment. And if you jump right in and try to do an assignment, you may have trouble. So here you'll see in this course, the very first thing that you're supposed to do is click the Get Started orientation button, and that will take you into the orientation page. And then there is a list of things for you to do to get started. More on that later. Let's go back to this navigation menu that I talked about. The way that the courses are designed is using a module system. So one of the things that you'll want to do and get in the habit of doing is clicking on the Modules tab, so that you will then see the modules that are available to you. You may be able to see some other modules, but there may not be any content available. For instance, there's lots of content here in this module, but it's not open to the student yet. So you don't have to worry about that. It also won't overwhelm you because you won't know what there is to do in there until you get to it. Let's go back up to the top. So you can see that there is a module here, Getting Started. I can click that arrow and I will then condense all of the content. And I hit the arrow again, and now I can see all of the things that I need to do. So this will just give you a quick shot at what there is for you to do and when the due dates are and what the point values are for these assignments. But you should always start at the beginning. When you start at the beginning, the other pages will become available to you simply by clicking the Next button at the bottom. So in this case, after you've read what there is to do on here, you can quickly get to the next item by hitting the Next button at the bottom. And now you'll have a form that you need to fill out, and that was one of the items on the Getting Started list. Again, after you've filled out the form and submitted it, you hit Next, and it will take you to the next thing that you will need to do. And that would be to introduce yourself in a discussion forum. So you always want to keep in mind that modules will guide you through the course, but the pages also will instruct you on all of the things that you need to get done. Let's look at a different example of this. So here we are in Module 1, Oral Traditions, okay? And then there's an overview page. This overview page will tell you all about the whole module, which you can see lasts several weeks. So in the page, it tells you what the units are that you're going to be covering within that module, how much time you're going to have to complete that module, 1 to 2 weeks, weeks 1 and 2, and how many hours that you can anticipate spending on this module. And then down below, you'll see the outcomes. Now, again, if you can hit the Next button, it will take you to the first unit. This way, if you're hitting the Next button, you're not going to miss anything. Okay, so you can see in Unit 1.1, there's a podcast for you to listen to. All you have to do is click on the button and sit back and listen. All right, and then there's an outline of all of the lessons that you have to do. But you can't click on the lesson to get to it. The only way to get to the lesson is to either click Next, and you'll get to the first lesson, Lesson 1.1.1, or you could go back to the modules. And now, in Module 1, you've already read the Unit 1.1 page, and you're ready for Lesson 1.1.1. You can see the due dates again in the points that are assigned to that. So let's go into the lesson. In the lesson, you'll see, in this case, you have a YouTube video to watch, and you will click the play button and sit back and watch. Okay? There's also instructions on what you're going to have to do after you've watched that video and a rubric on how you're going to earn the full 15 points for that assignment. Once you have completed the assignment, you hit the Submit button to do that, but once you've submitted it, then you hit the Next button to go to the next lesson. So it's really easy to follow along with these assignments. Now, in this example, there's a button that you have to click to load the lesson in a new window. When you click that, a new tab will open, as you can see happening here, and now you can go in and start looking at this lesson about Joel Chandler Harris and the wonderful Tar Baby story. Okay, within these lessons, you will often find quizzes or activities to do. You want to make sure that you are reading and going through all of them, because you never know when a quiz group will pop up and you will be asked to answer some questions. So pay attention to that and don't just skip around on these. Okay, some other features. You can always check your grades. When you go in on the grades tab, you will see the assignments that are available to you, and you will see your grades. You will also see that each module is weighted. So module 1 is only worth 10% of your overall grade. So once you finish that, you will be 10% done. So the overall score of all of the modules will add up to the total grade. So sometimes you'll do better in some modules than others, but the whole thing will be averaged together to give your total grade. And this is where you'll be able to tell how you did in each individual module. Obviously, the student has not done any work yet because the class hasn't started. You can also click on the People's tab to see who else is in the class, a student, of course. Okay, so the key thing here to remember is that modules is going to be a very important part of the course, and you want to make sure that you go to modules and do not go to assignments. That will throw you off. Now, one of the key features that I really like is the calendar. So in the calendar, you will see that it's August, and when the class starts on the 23rd, you have assignments that are due. Well, these assignments are on the correct due date, and you can click on the assignment to see what it is, but it also gives you a visualization of when things are due. In this case, you can see that things are due on Wednesdays and Sundays. Now, this calendar feed button will help you save all of these calendar items to your own personal calendar. So your Google Calendar, so that when you're on your cell phone, you can get updates as to when assignments are due. So I would highly recommend adding the calendar feed to your Google Calendar. Okay, so that's it for this introduction navigating Canvas orientation video. Good luck.